Welcome to Purple Thoughts, a presentation by Kaneen Mafa. This is intellectual knowledge that has been earned through life experience and research, dating back almost a half a century. Indeed, I'm 48, so almost a half a century. How Purple Thought came to be. There's truly nothing new under the sun. Everything that is has been. Before some of our direct ancestors were colonized, terms like two-spirited, Moduko, Deko, Okul, Oguli, and countless other names and cultures spanning the globe were used to describe beings whose thought process and expression integrated masculine and feminine ideologies. However, many who know this ancient knowledge have often gatekept information. They use it for leverage. This leverage often supports the very institutions and systems that are responsible for the oppression of many marginalized groups. For a people of a certain economic and socioeconomic background who have either access to wealth, resources, or government-supported proof of ancestral status/lineage, to use a term like cultural appropriation on people who are often financially vulnerable and have been forcibly stripped of their heritage and culture by the same government is an act of violence. For every action, there is a reaction. Laylim Layler, aka Purple Thought, is our response. Why is this practice so vital during these times? Those benefiting from societal division gain the most, while Purple Thought emphasizes commonalities over differences. Although this approach may conflict with some traditions, for others it offers a healing perspective that can promote resilience if supported. Now, let's take a moment to discuss the significance of five in Purple Thought, aka Laylim, Layler, culture, and practice. How five relates to the tangible and the non tangible. In the image before us, we see five beings. These five beings are often associated with, well, not often, but always associated with earth, air, fire, water, and the fifth being heart, spirit, or soul, which is the untangible aspect, not the literal heart that beats within our chest, but the intent behind the heart chakra, what the heart does, how it is both tangible and non-tangible. It is why people act, why people move. The soul is why people move, how they move, what drives people, the spirit, why people move, how they move. And so in Laylim Layler, you may often see us use five hearts to express or to celebrate wholeness. These five beings in this picture represent those five hearts. They represent the tangible, which is earth, air, fire, water. Now, air is not tangible, but we definitely need it to breathe. And this also connects with astrology, how we can, how earth, air, fire, and water can be tangible as elements, but also non tangible as they are signs that identify beings around us who are born under those specific signs. And so we find that the tangible and the non-tangible are in some ways interchangeable. And Laylim Layler reminds us of how intertwined and intersected the non-tangible and the tangible are when we allow our conscience to evolve and expand. Who can be purple? Who can be Laylim Layler? Purpleness, wholeness, is not exclusive. However, it requires acknowledgement. Along with acknowledgement, there must be action and a daily commitment to honoring, centering, and celebrating the duality that exists within ourselves, our tribe, and siblings. Honoring the seasons and the phases of our beings, we honor both the highs and the lows, the chaos and order, masculine and the feminine, the surface and the deep, dark and the light, and so on. This is a journey that takes lifetimes. We are ever striving for internal balance and seeking to feel more whole within ourselves and to see that reflected back in our relationships with others, nature, and the world around us. When will you know you are ready to walk this path? When you have the willingness to begin the journey of decolonizing the mind. When you have the capacity to see beyond what is in front of you. When you have the autonomy to think for yourself. The clarity to begin to reflect, recollect, and remember. When you understand these things can't always be accurately measured through society's current westernized patriarchal lens, because this system flourishes via exploitation, and a lot of this growth will happen intimately to protect our most vulnerable. When you understand this isn't about clout or bragging rights, it is about collective and individual healing. How does purple thought expand human consciousness collectively? This practice reminds us we are not alone. Countless ancestral beings walk with us on both the spiritual plane and the physical plane. It reminds us power exists within us, not simply outside of us. It reminds us to stay connected to nature and community. It also reminds us our relationship to femininity isn't a weakness, but rather a different kind of strength. Does purple thought want a matriarchal society? Purple thought doesn't want to remove the divine masculine. This practice is about restoring internal and external balance. Through this restoration, the persecution of feminine centered beings can fade, and masculine centered beings can heal, becoming more whole. This will birth a generation of beings who honor and celebrate more of themselves in ways that do not reduce them on the basis of genitalia. Why is the color purple so significant to this practice? Purple has been my favorite color since childhood. Oddly enough, the first and only movies I saw with my grandmother at the movie theater were the color purple and Purple Rain. Later, as a practicing artist, I realized that through mixing colors traditionally associated with masculine and feminine archetypes, I could achieve various shades of purple. Pink and blue, trans colors, create lavenders. Red and blues create a deep purplish shade. This spiritual and mental breakthrough has been very affirming. For years, this revelation has been a grounding force on my journey towards wholeness. Seeing the color purple as a hybrid of masculine and feminine principles would soon open the door to resurrecting a culture that holds space for names, titles, and identities that honor openly hybridized energy, often expressed by non binary and gender non-conforming people. But this language can at times feel off putting to folks who don't like to be labeled via colonialism and seek a more tailor made relation with their expression. Purple Thought nurtures that space without the need for added labels and greater division. What is the significance of hybridized identifiers in Purple Thought? We have created lots of words over the years. Not all of them are hybrid words, but in this presentation, we're going to briefly discuss the sentiment behind hybrid words. In Purple Thought culture, aka the Laylim Layler practice, words like Dama, Daddy Mama, Fama, Mother Father, Pama, Papa Mama, Mada, Mama Daddy, Brista, Brother Sister, God Goddess, and Goddess God are used often as an indicator of a space in consciousness. These identifiers are meant to acknowledge and celebrate a being's wholeness. Kaneen is a hybrid word, meaning king, queen. Laylim Layler is a word created by three melanin-rich trans femme beings assigned male at birth. The term was created in December 2017, and it means let him, let her, I am whole. In our practice, it is not uncommon to see words that grammatically intentionally defy English grammar by capitalizing more than one letter in one word as a way of giving both aspects of the word the same intention and respect. Example, here comes our Mafa. Why is the F in Mafa also capitalized? Purple Thought and the Dragon. This practice honors our fire and passion. It sheds ideals and traditions meant to bind our potential and evolution. We play the whole tape. This practice encourages the practitioner to be fierce and creative, to awaken that ancient magical DNA and summon the great wise protector from the deep of our own being. The forced colonialism and a binary system attempts to demonize and bury forever. Welcome to Purple Thought. Laylim, Layler Nation, Purple Ones, rise.